Jessica here with A1c Wise, attainable and sustainable weight loss, blood sugar control, and A1c reduction. First and foremost, I want to say thank you for visiting this site and watching this video. As someone who's had type 1 diabetes for nearly 2 decades, I know how frustrating the disease can be. And I also know what it feels like to get to a point where you are so sick and tired of not being able to lose weight, of not having a body that you're confident in, and of having erratic blood sugars and out of control A1c levels and emotions that are up and down and all over the place. And I also know how scary it is when you constantly hear from health professionals and people who love you that if you don't get your health, your life, and your body under control, that you are going to needlessly suffer from unwanted and nasty complications in the future. I think it takes tremendous courage to go out there and recognize that you're in a place where you need help and to look for solutions. So regardless if you have type 1 diabetes or you just know and love somebody who has type 1 diabetes, thank you for caring enough about yourself or about somebody that you know and love to actually go out there and look for a solution so you can have a body that you love and also have excellent and exceptional control over type 1 diabetes. I'm going to share with you 3 strategies today, and I cannot wait to share these strategies with you. They are the same strategies that I implemented in my 12-week program that absolutely revolutionized my ability to lose weight and keep it off, and finally get excellent blood sugar control and A1c levels that my doctor is proud of. And I'm going to share those strategies with you in just a little bit. But I want to be transparent with you for a moment when I say that it hasn't always been easy for me to have a body that I love and am confident in, and also have excellent blood sugar control and tight management of my type 1 diabetes. I was diagnosed when I was 12 years old, and I was angry and I was frustrated. But the thing that I cared most about at that stage in my life was keeping a lean, fit frame. And so unfortunately, I became diabulimic. And not unlike many girls who are diagnosed when they're young, I used dangerous and disgusting strategies to keep a thin body. I would binge and purge. I would skip shots. I would eat a ton and then not eat for days. I would go to the gym and work out like a fanatic for hours to try and undo all the calories that I had eaten. And although these strategies worked really well in regards to keeping me in a lean, fit, thin frame, they wreaked havoc on my body, on my blood sugars, on my A1c levels, on my emotion, and God knows what they did internally that I wasn't even aware of. And it wasn't until towards the end of college that I really started to recognize that these strategies were no longer working for me. Not only was I gaining weight and I couldn't lose it as easily as I had in the past, but I was noticeably puffy and inflamed, and people started to comment on my eyes and my hair and my skin. They said I was looking sickly. And of course my blood sugars were still out of control. But something else I noticed is that I was having less and less energy. I was having a harder time sleeping. I just didn't feel comfortable or good in my own skin anymore. And that, coupled with the fact that the Peace Corps flat out denied me because my A1c was over 14, was really the wake-up call that I needed. It gave me that little bit of inspiration and that kick in that pants that said, Jessica, it's time that you finally get your weight, your health, your life, and your type 1 diabetes under control. And truth be told, for the first 2 decades when I had type 1 diabetes, there were times that I had tried to find solutions and that I tried to take care of my body and my blood sugars. But I always felt like people were trying to treat the symptom rather than the cause, and they just were telling me to take more insulin if I had high blood sugars. But the problem with that is it led to weight gain, so it wasn't a viable solution. So I went back onto the internet and I decided that I was finally going to find a solution that was going to work for me. And again, I came up empty-handed. Everybody just kept telling me to take more medication or more insulin, or that it was not possible for me to have the body that I loved and great blood sugar control. And I just didn't believe that this was the case, and I was frustrated. So I did the only other thing that I knew how to do, and I recruited some professionals and some close friends of mine. An MD doctor, a personal trainer, a semi-pro bodybuilder, a licensed nutritionist, and also somebody who had specifically worked with a handful of people with type 1 diabetes to help them get the body they want and have the blood sugar control that they wanted as well. And I sat these people down and I told them what I was trying to achieve. I said I no longer wanted the mentality that if I was going to have excellent blood sugar control, that I was going to have a body that was less than ideal. And they agreed that together, if we used our collaborative intelligence and wisdom and knowledge, that we could come up with a program that would truly allow me to have consistent and predictable blood sugars, as well as lose that extra weight that I had packed on and keep it off. And I don't know about you, but before I started this 12-week program, it was like I was going to start a new job or go on a vacation the next day. I couldn't sleep. I was so excited about the possibility of finally transforming my life. And the best part was, when I ended that 12 weeks, the results were better than I ever imagined. I actually lost over 15 pounds. 15 pounds in that 12 weeks. My average blood sugar, 112. That was truly transformative. I had never had such tight blood sugar control in my entire life. And my A1c level was one that my doctor was finally proud of. And I just kept getting such great compliments. Not only did I feel better and look better, and I had lost the weight, and my blood sugars were under control, and I had more energy, but people around me were telling me that they noticed that the life was starting to come back in me. And so that really motivated me and inspired me to stick with the strategies that I had discovered in that 12 weeks and use them on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. It's been over a year since I started sticking to those strategies, and now I'm down 22 pounds, actually over 22 pounds, but 22 pounds of fat and excess weight eliminated from my body, and I still have the best blood sugar control of my life. I feel better and I look better than I ever have before. So this is a lifestyle for me, and I want to share it with you too. So let's talk about those 3 strategies real quickly. And although I'm not a doctor and I'm not a licensed nutritionist, what I can tell you is I've had type 1 diabetes for nearly 2 decades. This stuff works. It'll transform your life, but you have to implement it consistently, methodically, systematically, and if you do, you will get predictable results. So the first one, it's a no-brainer. You've got to eat less carbohydrates, okay? Less carbohydrates. And I really get into the details about the science and the chemical reactions and the physiology behind this idea in my 12-week program. But right now, suffice it to say, the amount of insulin that you take on a daily basis is directly related to the number of carbohydrates that you're eating. And unfortunately, the more insulin you take, the more prone your body is to weight gain, to water retention, to fat retention. Your body becomes less sensitive to the insulin that you are taking, and you become noticeably and visibly puffy and inflamed. So reduce the amount of carbohydrates you eat, reduce the amount of insulin you take, and your life and your body will begin to change. Trust me, I know it's happened to me. Secondly, and I'm speaking to men and women when I say this, you got to start eating fat. Fat is not a 4-letter word, and as a girl who is totally obsessed and preoccupied with her body and used growth strategies for nearly 2 decades, I was afraid to eat fat. But what I said before I started that 12-week program is that I had professionals with me. I had people that had experience and a vast knowledge about how to successfully get me to where I wanted to go. And I knew they wouldn't lead me astray. So I trusted them, and they all said I needed to eat fat. And lo and behold, as soon as I started to eat the right type of fat, the weight and the fat started to come off. And I want to highlight something here, the right type of fat. I am not suggesting that you go out and you indulge in pizza and Dunkin' Donuts, because those are filled with bad fats and also very, very high in the glycemic scale and also have a lot of carbohydrates. But if you eat the right type of fats, fats that are found in healthy oils or in fish or nuts or avocado, you can actually turn your body into a fat burning furnace, which is what you want. So you can have a body that you love and that you're comfortable in, and you can also have tight control over your blood sugars and excellent management of your type 1 diabetes. The third piece, you have to stick to a program for longer than a red hot minute. I don't know about you, but I like instant gratification. But one of the things that I had to realize when I started this 12-week program is that I didn't get to the body that I had overnight. I didn't have the health that I had overnight. It had deteriorated slowly over time. And so I had to accept that same methodology when I was trying to get healthy and well again. It wasn't going to happen overnight. It wasn't going to be instant gratification. It wasn't going to be in a blink of an eye. So I had to consistently utilize the same strategies over and over and over and give my body adequate time to respond to my new healthy behaviors. And if you do those 3 things consistently over a long period of time, I promise you, you can change your body. I am living proof. And the next thing that I want to talk to you about is how passionate and sincere I am when I say that you need to add this $49.99 program, Type 1 to Type Awesome, to the shopping cart now. And the reason that I'm so passionate and enthusiastic about it is it changed my life. And I also know that there is nobody who is going to care more about your health than you do. And so it is time that you make the decision to take 100% responsibility. Invest in yourself, invest in your body, invest in your health and your future. Invest the $49.99, because if you don't do it, Nobody else is going to do it. And I know that internal dialogue can start to talk and say, hey, you'll do it later, or you'll create your own program, or you'll start tomorrow. But the truth is, you haven't done it yet, and you're not going to do it unless you invest today, right now. There is urgency. There is nothing more urgent than your health. There is nothing more urgent than feeling good and looking great. And the reason that I can talk to you about this so transparently is I've been there. I've done that. I've beat my head against that same proverbial wall, telling myself I would change soon. And it never happened until I stuck to the 12-week program that I designed along with some other professionals. 12-week program is phenomenal. You get workout logs, so you actually can track your workouts. You get videos for all the workouts that I tell you that you need to do, so you know that you're doing them effectively and efficiently. There are blood sugar logs and there are insulin logs, so you can actually track the progress that you're making during the 12 weeks. There are emotional debriefs, so that way you can kind of track and see what your emotions are doing and your feelings and your mentality is at every stage of the game, so you can really hone in and tweak and refine the program so it best fits your life and so you can get ideal and optimal results. I also have a contract because I believe that if you sign a contract, you'll stick to the program and that your results will accelerate. And like I said, you get actual meals to eat, meal after meal after meal, so it's a no-brainer. It's like when I talked about the fat piece. I said you have to get the right fats, but in what amounts and at what frequency and what time during the day. Those aren't things you want to fill your brain with. You want to have it laid out for you so you know exactly what to do to get the same type of result that I got. And yes, I got fantastic results. I have type 1 diabetes. I lost over 15 pounds and I had an average blood sugar of 112. But I'm not the only one. There's hundreds of other people with type 1 diabetes who have invested in this program, who have stuck the 12 weeks out, who have gotten phenomenal results. And because of that, I am confident when I tell you I don't want there to be any risk for you. If you invest in this program and you stick to it as it is laid out for the entire 12 weeks and you do not feel better, you do not look better, you do not have exceptionally better blood sugar control and A1c levels, lose weight and feel more energetic, I'll give you your money back, because I am not in the business of taking money from people if my program doesn't work. What I am in the business of is giving people a powerful 12-week program filled with strategies and step-by-step guidelines so that you can actually attain and sustain weight loss, blood sugar control, and A1c reductions that will allow you to live a healthy life even with type 1 diabetes. I am in the business of getting you to stop beating your head against that same wall and feeling hopeless and feeling like there are no solutions out there for you to live healthfully and in a body that you love if you have type 1 diabetes. It's just not the case. It's time that you commit yourself to something, jump in full bore, and have the adequate guidelines so that you can be successful in this program. And that's what the 12-week program does for you. I cannot wait to hear about your success. I love it when I get emails, people telling me that this is the program that they've looked for their entire diabetic life, and that they had no idea that the things that they were doing were actually sabotaging their efforts to get the body and the health that they wanted. So invest in this program, $49.99. It'll be the best decision that you've ever made. I can't wait to hear about your results. Thanks for watching this video. Add the program to your cart now, and I'll see you on the other side.